Yo, what's up with y'all, man? I hope you're doing good. If you're new and you're a fan of the NBA, subscribe to this channel. So let's get straight into it. Look, y'all, I'm not even gonna lie. I didn't expect to make this video so soon. My dog, my favorite player of all time, got swept again. And this time, this one hurt because of the huge opportunity that they had in game 1. I believe if that first game goes to Cleveland, then the entire series shifts.
Shut up, bro. Shut up, bro. Shut up, my nigga.
Nah, I'm just kidding. The Warriors still probably winning like 5 or 6 games. But anyways, that's not the point of this video. As you all know, LeBron James just lost his 6th NBA Finals series. And not in just any manner either. They got smacked. So now, of course, it's about that time that LeBron James is a free agent again. And now we're here trying to figure out what would be the best destination for LeBron James this summer. Back in 2016, I'm not sure if y'all remember, but LeBron James publicly stated himself that he was chasing the ghost who played in Chicago. No, not that one, Michael Jordan. And since he made that statement, he has a record of 1-3 in the NBA Finals. Now, we could sit here and explain why he hasn't done so well, but hey, it is what it is. So today, we are going to completely break down what team LeBron should sign with and why he should. Okay, and also I'm going to be taking into account on what these teams' salary cap situations are looking like, and if it's realistic enough for them to attain LeBron James. Alright, so as we all know, there are about 4 teams that are front runners to sign LeBron. The Lakers, the Rockets, the San Antonio Spurs, and the Philadelphia 76ers. First, let's start off with the Rockets, y'all. Houston seems to be the favorite to most people. If they aren't the favorite, then they're certainly second or third on pretty much everybody's list. Look, y'all, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm going to give you the facts, and I'm also gonna sprinkle my opinion on this thing. I understand Houston was literally 1 game away from defeating the Golden State Warriors. And if Chris Paul didn't get hurt, then they would be the team to make the finals in the West this year. But here's the reality, my boy. It is literally damn near impossible for the Rockets to be able to sign LeBron, because there's something called the cap space that exists. Just listen up, y'all, alright? In order for the Rockets to even have a slight chance at signing LeBron James, they would literally have to gut their roster and have a certain player take a pay cut so they can offer LeBron James a max or a near max deal. The Rockets would have to let go of Trevor Ariza, Gerald Green, Eric Gordon, Clint Capella, and have CP3 take less money. First off, I just want to say that literally a few days ago, CP3 came out and said that he doesn't want anything less than a max contract this summer. And if the Rockets want LeBron, they can't give CP that. And Chris Paul already stated that he don't want to take a pay cut, since this will most likely be his last big NBA contract. Well, I can understand why he would want some serious bans this offseason. The Rockets would also have to let go of Clint Capella. He's a restricted free agent this year. And as we all know, Clint Capella just had a phenomenal season. He had his breakout year this year. And that boy Clint is running up the numbers on his price tag. Teams in the NBA, such as the Phoenix Suns, are gonna throw a max or a near max contract towards him. And the Rockets can't afford to lose him, because he was the 3rd most valuable player for the Houston Rockets. Capella is easily a top 5, probably top 3 defensive center in the NBA. He's their anchor on the defensive side of the ball, and he's the one holding it down for him in the paint. So the Rockets would have to lose that dude Clint Capella. But once he's gone, if the Rockets can somehow convince CP3 to take a pay cut, and they also gotta let go of all their role players. Now, if you're wondering why they'd have to do all that, it's because of Ryan Anderson's contract. Mans is getting paid $20 million a year just to warm the bench and shoot 3. Some of y'all may be saying, why don't they just trade Ryan Anderson away? Well, my boy, they literally can't. In today's NBA market, a lot of teams don't have the space nor need for Ryan Anderson. There isn't a lot of money flying around in the NBA anymore. Now, the only way I could see Houston possibly getting rid of Ryan Anderson is if they attach a young valuable asset or a pick. But the problem here is that the Houston Rockets don't have any young valuable assets other than Clint Capella, but he's untradeable because he's a free agent. This is what makes it impossible to happen. Houston would encounter so many problems financially even if they tried to get LeBron. So with that being said, LeBron to Houston is dead. Now let's talk about the Los Angeles Lakers. The Lakers have had a pretty nice rebuild going on these last 2 years, and they have a great young core with a lot of potential. And on top of those young pieces, they actually have cap space and money to sign multiple stars in free agency, like Paul George. The only problem with LA though, is that I don't believe that's a team LeBron would sign with if he wants to win championships right now. These guys are all so young and none of them are at that elite level yet. And even if they were to add Paul George, I don't think it would be enough for LeBron to compete in the loaded Western Conference. With teams like the Houston Houston Rockets and the Golden State Warriors in the way. LA is just super unrealistic to me, bro. Unless LA landed someone like a DeMarcus Cousins, or if they somehow pull off a trade that involves Kawhi Leonard, which by the way has a 0 chance of happening. If LA cannot do those two things, I just don't see it happening, bro. These dudes, Ingram and Kuzma, and especially Lonzo, they are not ready to win yet. Yeah, they would probably be a good regular season team and probably be a top 3 or 4 seed in the West, but once the playoffs roll around, things are going to be much tougher for LeBron James because he's going to have to face the Golden State Warriors before the NBA Finals even start. And I'm telling you right now, man, that the Lakers do not have the firepower to keep up with the Warriors. Even if they had Paul George, it still wouldn't matter. And if LeBron lost in the Western Conference Finals instead of the NBA Finals, that would have hurt his legacy even more. I can already imagine all the other Kobe fans coming at LeBron's neck for not making the NBA Finals. So the Los Angeles Lakers isn't the move, my boys. That is dead. The San Antonio Spurs. You see, the Spurs are already at a disadvantage. Just like the Lakers and the Rockets, they play in the Western Conference. But hey, out of the 3 Western Conference teams, I think the Spurs would have the best chance at signing LeBron James because I believe they are more attractive than the Rockets and the Lakers. You may be wondering, why is that? The San Antonio Spurs actually have recent championship DNA, and that organization has everything LeBron has never had in his career. That's an organization with culture and a Hall of Fame legendary coach, Greg Popovich. If we take a look at the all-time greats LeBron James is usually compared to, Kobe Bryant and of course Michael Jordan, those guys have had a major advantage over LeBron because they've had an opportunity to play with one of the greatest basketball minds that we've ever seen, Phil Jackson. LeBron has never ever had that luxury, and this offseason would give him a chance to change that. Greg Popovich has been the best coach in the NBA for the last several years now, and of course we all know LeBron has great respect for that man, and in multiple instances LeBron has acknowledged how great Greg is. So other than Greg Popovich, what else do the San Antonio Spurs have to offer? Well, they have a bunch of quality role players. You got LaMarcus Aldridge, he's one of the best power forwards in the NBA, and he averaged 22 and 8 while leading the San Antonio Spurs this year. The Spurs also have 2 of the better perimeter defenders in the NBA, DeJounte Murray and Danny Green. And of course, we can't forget about their best player, Kawhi Leonard. Did you notice how we haven't heard about any Kawhi Leonard drama for these last several weeks? I'm sure that their situation is much better, and the wounds that were inflicted are now mended. The beef is over. Hope y'all didn't forget. That boy Kawhi Leonard, when healthy, is arguably a top 3 player in the NBA. So while taking all those things into consideration, of course LeBron James would be a terrific fit in San Antonio. But you see, the thing is, there's something that's called the cap space that butts into the situation as well. And the Spurs just simply don't have any room for LeBron. They're in the exact same boat as Houston. In order for them to have enough money to give LeBron James what he wants, which is a max contract, they would have to trade multiple players away, like Patty Mills, who's making more than $10 million a year. They'd also have to hope Rudy Gay opts out of his contract, and they'd also have to let a couple bench players walk this offseason. And still, even after all of that, they still wouldn't be able to sign Bron because of Pau Gasol's $16 million a year contract. Pau is like, what, 38 years old now, my boy? Trust me when I say this, there is literally nobody in this world who would trade for Pau Gasol at this stage of his career. No shots at Pau Gasol, he's still a great productive player for his age. But bro, for that price, he can go kick rocks and sit in the sandbox. Like I said before about Houston, they're in the exact same situation. As much as it makes sense for LeBron to sign with the San Antonio Spurs, it's literally impossible for that to even happen. I broke it down and did the math, my boy. Trust me. The only way San Antonio and the Houston Rockets could offer something to LeBron James is if they get rid of Ryan Anderson's $20 million a year contract and also Pau Gasol's $16 million a year contract. And they'd also have to gut their roster. As much as it pains me to say it, San Antonio was dead. Now this brings us to the last option that we all know of, and of course it's the Philadelphia 76ers. Now the 76ers are arguably the most talented young team in the NBA right now. They have 2 franchise players in Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, a great supporting cast with players like JJ Redick, Dario Saric, Robert Covington, TJ McConnell, and etc. And they also have the X factor to their rebuild, the 20-year-old point guard Markelle Fultz. But more importantly than all that, the Philadelphia 76ers actually have cap space. The 76ers have the cap space to sign a star like the Los Angeles Lakers, and they have just as much talent as the San Antonio Spurs and the Houston Rockets. The 76ers are the most well-rounded option for LeBron James. They have the money and the talent. That's something that all the other options do not have together. The only players that the 76ers have under contract that is making real money is Robert Covington and Joel Embiid. Other than those 2, everybody else on the roster is making either $8 million or less a year. And that's because everybody is either on minimum contracts or still on their rookie contract. So unlike the Rockets and Spurs, getting LeBron would not require much roster roster movement at all. They'd only have to trade away one player to make this happen. And that one player that they'd have to trade would be Jared Bayless. Jared is making $8 million a year. And Jared is a solid backup point guard. He's really not nothing too special. The 76ers could attach a first and a second round pick to Jared Bayless to get him off the books. Another thing some people try to bring up is how JJ Redick is a free agent and how that could get in the way of things. Alright, listen up my boy. If you didn't know already, JJ Redick himself believes that LeBron James is the best basketball player to ever walk this planet. I didn't say it. He actually said it himself in an interview. If you don't believe me, you can check it out yourself and see.
So I think it's, I mean, look, LeBron is, I think, the greatest player to ever play.
I told you. So why would JJ Redick pass up an opportunity to play with who he believes is the best basketball player to ever live? Look, all I'm trying to say is that JJ Redick is more than likely going to take a pay cut because he was paid a boatload of money last year. So I'm sure he'd be willing to take a pay cut to play with one of the greats and have a real opportunity to win. Now, fit-wise is what a lot of people are skeptical about because Philly's point guard Ben Simmons cannot shoot more than 5 feet away from the rim. It's that bad. But other than that, Philly fits with LeBron really well. Joel Embiid, he's a good shooter and he has a great all-around game. His three-point percentage really wasn't too great because he took a lot of reckless threes this year. But he can shoot. All he needs to work on is his decision-making. And for the rest of their guys, JJ Redick, Covington, and of course, Marco Bellinelli and Ersan Ilyasova, who they have to re-sign, are all above average three-point shooters. And if that ain't enough shooters for Philly, with LeBron in town, it would entice more shooters to go ahead and play for Philly. And they might be able to scoop up a couple more players like Wayne Ellington, who is a great sharpshooter. Philly clearly has the supporting cast. Now let's get back into it about Ben Simmons. Alright, so I'm sure a lot of y'all haven't noticed, but Ben Simmons has been posting videos of himself working in the gym ever since he got eliminated by Boston. But he hasn't been showing any film of himself on what he's been working on. But it's been pretty obvious what he's been doing. He's doing something that we don't know about, and I think my man's is working on that jumper. Alright, so I'm gonna throw out a couple more points and then I'm gonna dip. Alright, earlier this season, LeBron stated that he wanted to play off the ball next year, and Philly has been one of his options for a reason. They got one of the best ball handlers in the league, Ben Simmons. Now let's talk about how the 76ers would dominate the league for years on now with LeBron James on their roster. At this point of LeBron's career, he of course needs more assistance on the basketball court to win, because he can't be a god on the court for too long. Bro, LeBron is getting old, and as he gets up there in age, he won't be as dominant as he once was. He'll still be a great top 3, top 5 player in the NBA for sure, but he definitely won't be the same guy that we all know him to be once he's 35, 36, 37, and so on and so forth. So if LeBron goes to Philly, that would allow him to compete for the next 5 to 6 years. LeBron can still do his thing and be great, while Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid learn from him as sidekicks. But as soon as LeBron starts to decline, boom, it's Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid's time to dominate, while having a 35, 36-year-old LeBron James as their sidekick. Y'all see how beautiful this timetable plays out? Ben Simmons is only 21 years old right now, and he's had one of the best rookie seasons we've ever seen. So once LeBron starts slowing down, Ben Simmons will eventually be able to break out of the cage, and he'll become a whole different type of monster by the time he's in his prime. Oh, and for Joel Embiid, that man is only 24 years old and he's gonna be on the same path as Simmons, but he's gonna be unleashed sooner since he's 2-3 years away from being in his prime. This all works out perfectly, my boy, and I believe Philly is the way to go. Offensively and defensively, they are there and they have all types of versatility. Their worst defender in their rotation might be JJ Redick, but that will only be because of his size. JJ isn't a straight up liability or anything like that. He just isn't anything special. He's just meh on the defensive end. So the only real question that and I'm pretty sure you'd have with this whole plan is how much Ben Simmons' jumper will progress. But other than that, I have no worries. And once LeBron decides to sign with the Philadelphia 76ers, hey man, Golden State, y'all gonna be in trouble, because this team right here isn't gonna go anywhere anytime soon. The Warriors are gonna have a lot of matchup problems against these dudes because they have no answer for LeBron James, Ben Simmons, and Joel Embiid. So with all that being said, I believe Philly is LeBron James' best option and is the most realistic option as well. LeBron wouldn't have to exert so much energy anymore, and he'll be able to age gracefully and fall back into a second or third option on the 76ers as time goes on. But I believe Philly overall is the best option. San Antonio was second on that list, Houston is third, and the Los Angeles Lakers are last. That's how I rank how realistic these options are. But just throwing this out there, by the way, for my last point, the Philadelphia 76ers have an edge over all of these other teams because they play in the Eastern Conference. So once LeBron James officially signs with the 76ers and puts the ink on the paper, come back to this video and remember who let you know first. There's gonna be a risk with whatever LeBron James decides to do. Every team has their pros and cons, but I believe the 76ers is a risk well worth taking. But this is the end of the video, man. Let me know what you guys think. I appreciate you for watching. I really do, and I'll get right with you.
No way, no way, remember back when I couldn't get a play, no home, I ain't have a place to stay, I got to work, made the surf, free the way, told my girl who'd ever